This lesson is about circles in the coordinate plane. The objective is to write the equation of a circle and to find the center and radius of a circle if you already have the equation. So, first theorem is the equation of a circle. Equation of a circle with the center at h comma k and the radius is a length r is x minus h in parentheses squared plus y minus k parentheses squared equals r squared, which is the radius squared. So here you have your center is h comma k, and then the radius is r. So that's where you would fill them in into the equation of a circle. One thing that will help you remember the equation of a circle is to know where it comes from. So let's prove this or derive this formula by using the distance formula. So we're going to use the distance formula to find the equation of a circle with a center h comma k and a radius r. So we're going to let x comma y be any point on the circle. And then the radius is going to be the distance from that center to that point on the circle. So let's just write the distance formula. Distance is equal to the square root of the difference between your x coordinates, parentheses squared, plus the difference between your y coordinates, y sub 2 minus y sub 1, parentheses squared. So that's just your distance formula. So now we're going to substitute. The distance is actually the length of the radius. So put the r in for the d, substitute there. And then let's look at the other points we have. So for x2, y2, we're going to use the point on the circle, x comma y. And then for the x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 1, y sub 1, we're going to use the center of the circle. So it's minus h and minus k. So all we did here was substitute into the distance formula. So now if we just simplify this, if you square both sides, you're going to get r squared is equal to, and it's just going to remove the square root sign from the other side. So r squared is equal to x minus h, parentheses squared, plus y minus k, parentheses squared, when you square both sides. And that gives you the equation of a circle. So this equation is called the standard form. So if you ever have a problem that asks for the equation of a circle in standard form, this is the form that it wants it in. So let's look at a few problems. So in problem 1, we're writing the equation of a circle, and they gave us the center and radius. So the center is the h and the k, and then we know that the radius is 5. So write the equation of circle, x minus h, parentheses squared, plus y minus k, parentheses squared, is equal to r squared. And then substitute. For the h, you're putting in the negative 6. So you have x minus a negative 6 in parentheses squared, plus, and then for the k, you're putting in the 8, y minus 8 in parentheses squared. And then for the r, get the 5 equals 5 squared. So just simplify that. So in parentheses here we have x plus 6, because opposite of a negative is positive. Parentheses squared. The y minus 8 stays the same, equals 25. And that's as much as you can simplify it to get the equation of a circle in standard form. Problem 2, using the center and a point on the circle to write the equation of the circle. So it tells you that the center is 4, 2, and the circle passes through point 2, negative 3. So in order to write the equation of a circle, we need to know the center, which we know. We know that the 4, 2 is the h, k. And we need to know the radius. So that's the point. That's the thing we don't know in this problem. Your radius is going to be the distance between that point on the circle and the center. So that length, that distance, is r. So you're going to use the distance formula to calculate that length. R is going to be the square root of difference between your x values. We'll say that's 4 minus 2 in parentheses squared, plus difference between your y values. So it's going to be 2 minus a negative 3, which is 2 plus 3, parentheses squared. So that is square root of 2 squared plus 5 squared is 4 plus 25 is 29. So we got the square root of 29 is your radius. So now we need to plug that into the formula for a circle. Formula for a circle, we have x minus h in parentheses squared plus y minus k in parentheses squared is equal to r squared. So substitute in for the h and the k and the r. So we have x minus 4, which is your x value of your center, and y minus 2 in parentheses squared is equal to the square root of 29 in parentheses squared. So the only thing we need to simplify here is that square root of 29 squared. Square root of 29 times the square root of 29 is just 29. So your standard form of the equation is just x minus 4 parentheses squared plus y minus 2 in parentheses squared is equal to 29. And that's the final form of your standard equation for that circle. In the last problem, it wants you to graph the circle given its equation. So what's the center and the radius of the circle with this equation, and then graph it. So just compare this equation to the standard form of the equation for a circle, which is x minus h in parentheses squared plus y minus k in parentheses squared equals r squared. So here you can see that the center is going to be h comma k. The h in this equation, be careful with your signs. You have x minus 3 and x minus h. So h is a positive 3. And when you compare the equation for the y's, you have y plus 2. But that has to be y minus a negative 2 in order for it to be y plus 2. So your k value is actually a negative 2 for the y. And then your r, if r squared is 36, then you take the square root of both sides, and r is 6. So how do you graph this? Graph your center first. So go over to a positive 3 and a negative 2, and graph the center. Then use your radius length of 6 from this point. Go up 6 units, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and make a point there. That's going to be a point on your circle. You can go right 6 units, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units right, and that would be on your circle. Go down 6 units from the center, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. That's going to be a point on your circle, and then go to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units, and make a point. Those are all going to be points that are on your circle. So now you can use a compass if you want to make a nice circle, but you should be able to sketch at this point and just go through those points that are on that circle and sketch that circle. To graph it. So there's the graph of that circle with center 3, -2 and a radius of 6.